Hey guys, what's up, it's Cubus here. I've kept you waiting enough for my next review, so without any further delay, let's see if inFamous Second Son is patched.
Coming.
But before I start, let me just say that I have never played any of the previous installments in the series, as I have never had a PlayStation 3. With that said, let's get to the game. You play as Delsin, who is an anarchistic rebel, and a lot of the game is designed with this theme. You gain superpowers in the very beginning of the game, and you use them to fight the establishment. You do it by releasing the prisoners, shooting down surveillance drones, or painting graffitis. The last one is especially interesting as it utilizes DualShock 4 motion controls to increase the immersion, and it does it very well. Another thing I liked a lot are the superpowers in the game. Designers decided to drop the most usual ideas like fire, ice or electricity for more interesting smoke, neon, video and concrete. And although they don't do anything extraordinary in terms of gameplay like stunning or disabling enemies, I still think that designers deserve to be praised for their choice, especially as those superpowers are very well composed into the world with recharge points and travel system. But there are also some design flaws. The smallest one is the interface. I've completed the game and I know that there is a quick travel system, but I have no idea how to use it. I also think that the game would benefit with a different approach to soundtrack. Delsin carries his phone all the time, and it would fit the game theme perfectly if he was listening to some punk rock on it. Instead, we get a hardly noticeable background themes. But the most disappointing thing in design for me is the combat system. You never feel that powerful as you seem to be. It also doesn't flow nicely, and as you spend a lot of time fighting, I rate this as a major pass killer. So finally we end up with a game that have a mediocre combat system and an interesting, but not fully used potential for a rebellious atmosphere. Therefore I award it with 6 points out of 10 for its design. The technical side of this game is okay, I guess. It looks pretty good, with a great particle and special effects when draining power sources or using your powers. I also enjoyed the motion capture of the facial performance in cutscenes. The game runs smoothly all the time, both during the moments of the calm street roaming and the biggest of brawls. The thing worth mentioning is that producers decided to implement frame rate lock into the options, so you can either have it jumping from lower to higher values, or just keep it locked on 30 FPS, which I find really nice. There are only 3 issues I found that are worth mentioning. First is that when you use the smoke power, which is your only one in the beginning, the freerunning and climbing mechanics doesn't quite work, as Delsin won't grab to the ledges as he should. The second one is the object collision, but only between the protagonist and the environment. I saw it a number of times on a small scale, and once I even went through the building's wall, but fortunately the game quickly corrected it. In one of the patches the game included an additional series of missions, which were quite interesting. It was designed so you would have to investigate a series of crime scenes, but you could only see the unlocked evidence on a website outside of the game. But although the website is still up and running, it had some issues with data synchronization, and because of that I didn't have patience to try and complete it. So as I said, the game is quite okay in its technical merits, but it's far from perfect. Therefore I award it with 6 points out of 10 for technicalities. In the business side, the game did get an additional mission series for free, which is a plus. On the other hand, there's another one that is paid. I didn't play either of them, one because I'm a skimp player, the second one because of the technical issues I spoke before. But I didn't get a feeling of missing anything, so that's okay. There's also a bigger standalone expansion where you are put into the shoes of one of the supporting characters from a main game. It's a bit like a prologue to it, something similar to Ground Zeroes and Phantom Pain. And just because it's a standalone, I'm not going to rate it here. But I have to mention that the game got quite a lot of language versions, with 10 full dubbing records and 14 in text. That shows that where is will, there's a way for a publisher to do something for the players. So okay, I've seen games with more paid DLCs and with microtransactions, but I still think that neither of these things should be done by a self-respecting publisher. I understand big expansion packs, even if they are not free of charge, but it's not good enough this time. Therefore, I award it with 7 points out of 10 for its business side. So in the end, I think that Second Son is a rather mediocre game with a total score of 19 points out of 30. It lacks polish in combat system and it has some technical issues. I don't consider it a waste of time, but then again, it probably won't be remembered in all the best games of this generation tallies that we will see in few years' time. That's all for today, thanks for watching. As always, if you liked this review, I would like to ask you to hit that like button, subscribe my channel for more reviews like this, and to follow Is It Patched on Facebook.